I just realized something. Scuba diving changed my life. Like, I didn't even know that before. I was thinking about how I could go ahead and help you today, how I could help you take your life and business to the next level. And I realized the decision I made when I was 18, maybe 19 years old to become a scuba diver changed my life. And I want to talk to you about how simple decisions about your dreams and that you go after can go ahead and help change your life and the trajectory of what you're going to do and how you're going to live the quality of your life. I know you're going to love today's show.
Cowboy.
Welcome to a daily dose of greatness class with your host, Trevor Crane, my daddy. He is going to help you take your life and business to the next level.
Here I come to save the day.
Trevor Crane here, 11-time #1 best-selling author and the founder of Epic Author Publishing, coming to you live every day so you can plug in every day to build your ideal business so you can live your ideal life.
If my daddy can do it, then anybody can do it because he's a weirdo.
You're supposed to make me sound cool.
So I'm going to take you back to when I was 19 years old and I was at a party. I lived in Phoenix, Arizona, and I picked up a book that was laying on a table. It was one of those coffee table books with a whole bunch of pictures in it. And instead of hanging out with everybody drinking beer and doing their thing, I'm sure I did that too, but I sat down at this table and I looked in and I watched looked at this underwater book about scuba diving and all these amazing creatures that lived under the ocean. And coming from a desert, coming from this hot place of Arizona, and looking at this whole other world that was underwater, it just fired me up, man. I created these dreams. I wanted it. Like, I think that, like the dream, I knew we can live on land. I know I could do that. But the idea of breathing underwater, man, was just like, it was like flying in the air, another dream of mine, and going to space. Like, we only have so many choices, right? You can go underwater, on land, in the air, and fly, or go into outer space. I have not done the outer space thing yet, but that is on my itinerary. Well, let's get back to this. Sitting at that party that day, I decided I wanted to become a scuba diver. And I ended up within a year or so, don't know exactly the date beyond this, but I went and I took scuba lessons while I was in Arizona. That means I had to do all my lessons in a swimming pool, all my lessons in a lake, and I loved it. I loved the whole idea that I was breathing underwater, and it was a dream. Like, I decided I was just young enough and just stupid enough to think that if I wanted to do something that I could do it. And lo and behold, I could. Anybody can learn to scuba dive and breathe underwater. I just had to go take the class. I had to go find somebody to teach me to do it. And that decision changed so many things in my life. I ended up buying a ticket to Australia. When I finished college, I graduated college when I was 20 years old, and I went to Australia. I went for 3 months. I was in Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and Hawaii, and one of the core things they all had around them was water. And I wanted to make sure I had been trained to scuba dive so I could go scuba diving when I was there. I did my first open water scuba dive off the coast of Australia on the Great Barrier Reef, and it blew my mind. And now I'm 20 years old. I'm spending my time in Australia. I'm having the most amazing adventure of my life. I never felt less alone in my entire life, and I just took a backpack with me and I was traveling alone. I met the most amazing people. And I decided that I wanted to share this amazingness with others. I decided that I wanted to become a scuba instructor so I could teach that to others. I decided that I wanted to start a tour company and take my friends and family out and show them the world. I learned so much. When I came back home from that trip, I ended up staying back in Phoenix, Arizona for a little while. And then I decided that I wanted to make the dream come true and not finish my travel. I ended up buying, within a short period of time, a one-way ticket that took me from Phoenix to Paris, and I ended up staying 2 years in Europe. See, the lessons that I learned from being able to do something that was seemingly impossible, like just learning to scuba dive and facing a fear, and then embracing it and then experiencing the joy of it, changed the trajectory of my life. I became this guy that sought adventure. And maybe that was always inside of me, but now I was living it, and I was finally an adult, or barely an adult, and traveling the world and living the dream, so to speak. When I came home, when my younger sister was graduating from college a few years later, I came back from having spent a year or so more in Europe to see my sister, I had to go get a real job. And now I'm going to go get a real job. And I went to start a business, and and that was going to be okay. I waited tables for a little while I was transitioning into a new career. I had a business degree in marketing, and I didn't want to go work for a pharmaceutical company, which is where I was going to make the most money as a salesperson or whatnot. I didn't like all my job options. What I also found was that you can become a scuba instructor and still travel. So what I did is I took a class to become a scuba instructor, and within 2-3 months, I became a scuba instructor. And what I decided to do with my life was, when I found something that was really cool, that I enjoyed, I wanted to share it with others. And then I really became a scuba instructor so I could continue to travel. But I also did it because I wanted to share with my friends and my family and the people I cared about most. And so I ended up becoming a scuba instructor. And then the first job that I went to go get was working on a cruise ship. And there I just went into a whole nother world of what I would learn to share with people. And I came up with my next business idea, because I had done a couple businesses when I was younger. And I decided that I wanted to share this adventure with others. So then I started this scuba thing, this water sports thing. I learned to snorkel underwater. I learned to drive a parasail boat. I learned to ride wave runners and do all these amazing things on the water and in the ocean that I never grew up with. I'm the son of a horseshoer, and it was just a hot Arizona day is my recollection of my childhood, is just sweaty, freaking hot, Africa hot. And now I'm living the dream. And I left that cruise ship in order to start my own adventure tour company. My company name was Adventure Guides, Inc. And I ended up starting a parasail business off the Gulf Coast of Florida, and I ran a water sports business out of Naples, Florida for years. Now, here's the thing. For the last decade, or more than a decade, I've 15, maybe 16 years now, I've been a coach and consultant, has been my primary business. See, I started to have some business success, and when I learned that, I decided, well, why not share this with others? So I became this accidental coach or consultant. I didn't set out to be a coach and consultant that helped people grow their business and make money. But when I started to have success in these areas, I did the same thing I did as when I learned to scuba dive. I enjoyed it. I thought that it would be valuable to others, and then I wanted to learn how to share it with others. I did the same thing when I started my tour company. I was loving traveling, so I wanted to share it with others. And I started a tour company that took people on trips to the Bahamas. It took people to Turks and Caicos and the British Virgin Islands. And I shared with them how to scuba dive so I could share what I learned with others. And recently, I learned to publish books, and this is a few years ago now. And when I finally published my first book, which I struggled to do for years, I 10x my income. And what I've done for the last 15, 17 years of my life is basically, if something worked for me, I shared it with others. And all of that began for me when I was 18, 19 years old, and I picked up that book and I decided I was going to become a scuba diver. So here's my question for you. What's a dream that you have? Something that might seem outrageous, something that you might love, something that you haven't yet done. What's a dream that you have always wanted to go do that you could just set a goal and go do? See, because when I was 20 years old, it wasn't that big of a deal to just go to scuba class. What is a dream that you may have given up on that it's now time to go ahead and revisit and go do? Maybe learn to snow ski, which I've had to do. Learn to do karate, which I wanted to do. Learn to fly a helicopter or an airplane, which I've learned to do. I don't have my pilot's license in either of those, but I've enjoyed it and I wanted to go do it, so I did it. Because I believe that if you make that choice, it can change the rest of your life. So if it's time for you to rekindle that dream, go do it. Go do something today that's the challenge for you. Think of something that you may have given up on, or a dream that you have, or something that you're passionate about right now, and then go do something towards its attainment today. As Tony Robbins puts it, don't ever leave the side of a goal without doing something towards its attainment. So as you take a moment right now to think about something that you would love to do, maybe a dream that you've given up on in the past, or something that would just be really, really cool for you to do, I then want you to write that stuff down in your success journal and then do something towards its attainment. Book the tennis lessons, book the scuba lessons, book the tango lessons, whatever it is. Buy your plane ticket, buy the t-shirt, post on social media, do something. because the decision that I made when I was 18, 19 years old, holding that scuba book in my hand, changed everything for me. And it changed the trajectory of my life about how I've now been committed to helping people and basically to show them the path of where I have been and what I've already done, the mistakes I have made, the successes that I have had. And I share with passion around the things that I'm most excited about with the people that I care about most. Make today magnificent, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow on another Daily Dose of Greatness class.
To get even more awesomeness, which means all my best stuff, download my app by texting Trevor to 36260. It will show up right on your cell phone. Just text message the word Trevor to 36260. Talk to you soon.